JXSC 3D flowchart and technical explanation for 500 TPD rock gold CIL processing plant. This setup is a complete set 500 TPD rock gold CIL processing flowsheet, including a feeding, crushing, and screening system, ball mill grinding system, leaching pretreatment, leaching activated carbon adsorption processing, gold-loaded carbon desorption and electrolytic stage, and tailing water recycle system. 1. Feeding, crushing, and screening system. The raw gold stone is fed by a dump truck. There is a vibration feeder under the hopper, which can feed the material into the jaw crusher evenly. The hopper can be made at the mine site by clients themselves according to the real situation. The jaw crusher crushes the rock to medium size. The output from the jaw crusher is transported to the next cone crusher by belt conveyor. The cone crusher crushes the rock to below 20 millimeters. The output from the cone crusher is transported to the next vibrating screen by a belt conveyor. The larger than 20 millimeter material is back to the cone crusher for crushing again. The output smaller than 20 millimeters goes to the next storage hopper via a belt conveyor. There is also one electromagnetic vibration feeder under the hopper. It's for buffering and feeding the material evenly. Transport the fine gravel to the ball mill by a conveyor. 2. Ball mill grinding system. The ball mill for grinding the fine gravel into fine powder to release the inside gold from the rock. In order to reach the best leaching ratio and gold recovery ratio, usually the leaching process requests 90% 200 mesh feeding size, so we suggest using two-stage ball mill grinding. The output from first ball mill goes to the spiral classifier classifying. The coarse sand from the classifier will go back to first ball mill for grinding again. Overflow slurry is small and fine size will be pumped to the hydrocyclone to get 0 to 200 mesh. Underflow slurry from the cyclone will go to second ball mill for grinding again to get 0 to 200 mesh, and overflow slurry from the hydrocyclone is 0 to 200 mesh will go to thickener. Output slurry from second ball mill also will be pumped to the hydrocyclone. 3. Pre-treatment. Before leaching. The small fine powder 0 to 200 mesh slurry from hydrocyclone will firstly feed to a safety screen to screen some waste. The underscreen will go to the inside thickener directly. At the same time, the flocculant is required to be added for the thickener. The overflow water from the thickener goes to settling ponds, then the water can be recycled after precipitation. The underflow from the thickener will flow into a mixing tank, then use a slurry pump to pump the material into two primary leaching tanks. Related chemicals need to be added accordingly here. The leaching in these two tanks will not be finished, just for roughly leaching. 4. Leaching and activated carbon adsorption processing. 8 pieces double impeller leaching and adsorption agitation tank with carbon and roots blower work for adsorption agitation tank. The tank quantity and size depend on the processing capacity and total leaching time and can be revised according to raw ore conditions. 5. Gold-loaded carbon desorption and electrolytic stage. The gold-loaded carbon will be transported to a linear vibration screen to remove the trash. The gold-loaded carbon will go to normal temperature and normal pressure for desorption electrolysis. 6. Tailing water recycle system. The tailing from adsorption agitation tanks will go to a liner vibrating screen for screening carbon first. The underscreen goes to the underpond, then pumps to the big cone thickener to make suitable density before filtering. Then use a high-pressure slurry pump to feed the tailing slurry into the plate filter press machine for filtering and recycling the water. And tailing will be dried and transported away, if do not need to recycle the water and make dry tailing. Firstly, put some bleaching powder in the tailing slurry tank to treat the acidic chemicals, so as to reduce the chemical influence on the environment. Then tailings can be discharged far away by channel.